Hi guys, today I decided to do something a little bit different and I'm going to review some books by my favourite author, Richard Laymon. Now if you've not heard of him, he's very dark, violent, sort of sexual horror. There's a lot of sexual stuff inside of his books, but yeah, I've compiled a list of my favourite five. I've got most of his books, I'd say. I've got about 30 of them, but and I've got my top five books and I've tried to put them in order, but I can't really decide which is my favourite. So, first off we've got one called Funland. Um, I read this a while ago, and it's basically about a group of teenagers that are dealing with a town's problem because the town's infested by hobos, and they're basically extracting revenge on that, and it gets darker and sicker as they progress. And there's also a fun house in the main attraction of the town, which is the Funland, and yeah, there's all kind of mystery with that and like disappearances, and it's a really interesting read. It's quite a long book, yeah. In fact, so are all the books I've selected for the top five. I mean, he does have a few short books, but my favourites are all the long books. So, in fourth place, I suppose, is The Glory Boss. Now, this is it's two stories, like parallel stories, about basically a woman whose husband is murdered, and she's kidnapped, I think. I can't really remember, but yeah. And the other one is a guy who's basically, he's just forced, has someone forced upon him, and he takes this innocent guy called Norman on basically a killing spree, along with some hitchhiker called Boots, and basically the two stories end up clashing in some town in the desert, and they're brought there by the Glory Boss. And there's all kinds of strange and awesome things going on with that, and that is a really good one because I just enjoyed the way the way he develops throughout the story, because he starts off just a normal guy, and as it goes on he gets darker, and yeah, it's a great book, so definitely read both of them. In fact, you should read everything by Richard Laymon eventually, but this one is savage. Now this one is completely different to most Richard Laymon books. It's set in 1888, as it says on the back. I didn't know that, but it's basically after Jack the Ripper commits his last murder. It's a fictional account of someone who witnesses it and sort of ends up pursuing Jack the Ripper, and he ends up in America, and there's like a western theme to it, and it's just such a great adventure book, and I've never read anything like this, and I loved it. So, after reading this I did go and buy a lot of western books. I lent some from my granddad, but I didn't really get into them. But definitely should try that because it's very different to the rest of Richard Laymon. It's a nice change. Also there's plenty of gore, and a very coming of age book. So now I've got two more books here, and I really can't decide which is my favourite out of the two of them. First, I've got Darkness Tells Us. I actually found this in my dad's villa in Spain, and this is before I read books or anything. And I read the back, and it just sounded so interesting that I started reading, and basically this book has just changed my life, because since then I've really got into reading and writing, and I write my own books now, and I've read so many books because this book inspired me, and it got me into Richard Laymon, it got me into people like that. So this is a great one. It's basically about a group of college students who discover an Ouija board. I don't know if that's pronounced right. And it promises them money, so they sort of go on an adventure in the mountains looking for this money being led on by this Ouija board, and it's really interesting. It's got some really good kills and some pretty good moments of terror in it as well, so that's Darkness Tells Us. You should definitely read that. Now, I don't really know why I've decided to put this in first place, because it is one of my favourites, probably joint with Darkness Tells Us. And this one is, well, you probably would have guessed it by now, I hope, The Island. Now, I've actually bought this a few times because I'm very OCD, I like to have them all sort of similar matching, so I liked it that much I bought it, again, because of its style, because it was a hardback, but I don't like hardbacks. And so yeah, this is about a group of people who are on a cruise in the Bahamas, and their yacht explodes, leaving them stranded on an island. And basically, it's like a survival book. They're on this island and they're trying to make do, but there's also a killer in the woods, which makes it very interesting. And it's family along the main character. It's sort of set in a diary form as well, but it's set so you really don't know if the main character is going to survive. It's not predictable, and it's really got some great twists and some awesome kills and really bad gore, and there's also a lot of sexual content in this one. I did notice, the main character's a bit perverted, so it adds strange twist to it. So yeah, the main character's definitely a questionable character, but you will end up liking him. So yeah. So that's my top 5 Richard Laymon books. And also, if you are a Richard Laymon fan, I think you should comment to us and let us know what your favourite are, and if you've got any recommendations, because I've got a lot of them, but I've not got around to reading them all at the moment. So you know, if you recommend to me one, I'll probably start reading it. Also, I do want to mention, if you're a fan of if you're a fan of Richard Laymon, you should definitely check out Brian Keene. Now he's a much younger author. I mean, obviously, like Richard Laymon has passed on, but Brian Keene's a young author, and there's been a few of his books are being turned into films as well, including this book that I'm going to show you now. It's called Castaways by Brian Keene. This has been turned into a film, and along with a few, I mean, there's Ghoul, which is a film that's been released, and Dark Hollow, and then this, I believe, is in production. It's not been filmed, like cast or anything yet, but the screenplay's been wrote. And yeah, this is the first Brian Keene book I read, and it's called Castaways. If you're in America, I think the show's called Survivor. It's basically similar to that, but like a low-budget internet version. And yeah, they're on the island, and like they sort of get cut off from a storm, and there's these monsters on the island, and it's so violent like the rest of Brian Keene's books. There's so much violence, so many kills, and yeah, I just thought, you know, oh, this also pays homage to Richard Laymon as well. If you've read The Beast House, which I've not, it does say that the monster in The Beast House, it could possibly have originated from the island where this takes place. Like it says that the monster in Beast House is the monsters in this, and it could possibly have come from the island at some point. So yeah, if you're interested in Richard Laymon, you should definitely check out Brian Keene, in particular this book. The rest of his books are great, and he's definitely an up-and-coming author. So thanks for watching this, and hopefully you know, there's some Richard Laymon fans out there still, you know, because he's dead, so he isn't writing books anymore. So you know, I just hope there's still fans out there, and get in touch and let me know if you are a fan. So thanks for watching, and subscribe, and I might do some more book reviews at some point, but I will focus on DVDs and horror DVDs. But yeah, I should do books at some point. So thanks for watching.